Well, hey, you guys, what is going on? What's up? What's up? Hello, hello. I took a little break, was on a little bit of a siesta, but it wasn't a siesta. It was spring break for my kids. And I'm in recovery right now, to be honest with you. I now need a vacation. But we traveled to Arizona, 2 dogs, 3 kids, for tournament baseball. I don't know if any of you guys play baseball, but we, as a family, went down there to some warmer weather. The weather was beautiful. So if you're in Arizona, you guys, it's just gorgeous there right now. Absolutely gorgeous. But it was just go, go, go. Nonstop, go, go, go. Early crack of the dawn games where I'm still like waking up trying to figure out like what field to be on. And the game is getting more intense. It's 13U. So it's just the intensity is up. The coaching has gotten more intense. The parents have gotten more intense. I was talking to my mom because one of my brothers played baseball in college. And she was saying, and down south when they were kids, and she said it would get so intense that they had to like separate parents. They had to like put a fence in between the parents because it got so heated, which is just insane to me. So I try to keep a level head. I've got the strategy. I walk the dogs. I'm sorry. I can't get involved in the drama. I've got to walk our dogs. I can't hear what, just to avoid a lot of it because it's a lot. But it was go, 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 and I'm still trying to get my bearings straight. I'm so tired right now, you guys. So that's what I've been doing. It was fun. It was fun time with family though. Lots of good times hanging out with the kids, hanging out with my husband. But it was quite a trip. And now we're back and we're getting in the swing of things. This recap, you guys might have to recap me on what's going on in the world. The nice thing though about that trip was I just kind of checked out. I was like, I'm not even going to pay attention to what's going on in the world right now. And I'm just going to watch baseball and hang out with my kids. So that's what I did. So now I'm trying to immerse myself back into everything. And it's a lot to take in. I'm like, what happened? He said, what? How did that, what? So that's where I'm in right now. I have not done any satirical videos, hoping to start those back up next week. I did miss the opportunity. There was like these viral videos going where they were making like their morning routines. And these are like legit people. Like, they've got like a whole spread of fruit. They're like chopping up pineapples, throwing in apples, grabbing a banana, rubbing it on their face, dipping their head into ice. And this is all at 3 a.m. I mean, this is before the day has even begun. So I was like, oh, that would have been great to do something with that. So I kind of missed that because that's kind of now starting to trickle out. The thing that you have to do with satire and parody is you have to hit it right when it's hot. And if you miss it, you miss it. So I saw that and I was like, oh, I still might do something with the Tesla destroying whole thing that we're seeing happen. These people lose their minds. We're going to talk about that in a few. Let me make sure I am live on. Okay, I see you guys on YouTube. Can you believe that POTUS wants to make peace with savages? It's insane, Sharon, on YouTube. Absolutely insane. It's good to be back. Hello, Bartman XOXO on YouTube. Good to see you. Hello, Shrina on Facebook. Matt, what's up in Texas on Facebook? Let's get into this. I think I'm on X. Let me see. X can be a little fishy. I don't know. Let's see it really quick. Let's go to X. It doesn't look like I'm on. Doesn't look like I'm on X, which is strange. It says I am. Let me see if I do view. Continue. Let's see here. I don't see myself. Oh, there I am. I'm just delayed. It's like way delayed. Okay. Well, we'll come over here. Hopefully people on X start to say hello. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. Okay, let's start to hit a couple of these things to recap the week. Elise Stefanik is not going to go to the UN, and I like her. She seems very just balanced. I think I could eventually see Elise as a Speaker of the House for the Republican Party. She's just composed. She carries herself in a very diplomatic nature. I disagree with her on some of the things, her stances, but for the most part, she is a conservative. She's been a Trump supporter for a long time, and I do like her, and I could see her eventually being speaker. But she was going to go over to the UN. They said no because they think that Kathy Hochul, the governor over there in New York, could possibly delay the election process, making it a very, very, very slim majority in the House. So they're like, at least you just got to stay put for now. So I don't know, and maybe you guys know if they put forward someone then to go to the UN instead. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe that's been reported. I don't know about it yet. Maybe, I don't know. If you know the name that's been thrown out, let me know. Put it in the chat. Let's see here. What else is going on? I pulled this clip because I can only show so many clips on the stream that I have. But I thought it was funny. Trump made a remark about being a fertile president, the most fertile president. And it was in regards to supporting IVF and stuff like that, and how he supports that. And I know there's a lot of discussion on that on the conservative front. But the comment made was funny to me. I laughed, but a lot of people were like, oh, no. But I thought that was funny, and he was funny about it. The tariffs have gone into effect, 25% tariffs on imported car and parts, sparking backlash from trade partners like the EU, Canada, Japan. We'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, if you're going to buy a car, you bought it already. But I think that goes into effect here soon. I'm just trying to see. I'm not. Okay, there I am. But we'll see. Let's see here. Oh, see, it's not showing the stream on X. It's just showing the link. So that's why we don't have people really on X right now, which is a bummer. What else was I going to say? Let's see here. Okay. He signed an executive order this week, also ordering and requiring the proof of citizenship for voter registration in federal elections. And of course, the Democrats are outraged by that. They're trying to stop, again, they get these liberal activist judges to come in and try to stop this from happening. So we'll see if this hopefully goes through, which is insane to me that, let's just say if you're on the left and you realize that your party doesn't advocate for United States citizens to be the only ones that vote, doesn't that make you question your party? Doesn't that make you think, well, why? Why can we not win if we just have legal citizens voting? Like, why couldn't that be cool with everybody? I hope that the left, or even those in the middle, would say, what's so wrong with making sure that it's citizens, United States citizens, that are voting in this thing? And the left is outraged right now, but I think that's fantastic. We really have to fix a whole election system while we have this moment. Really, I mean, clean up everything, clean up voter rolls. I would say get rid of the voting machines, same day voting. Let's have a holiday. Let's have a holiday so everybody can get to the polls. Paper ballots. I mean, I would love to see a lot of things become law. And I would love to see the House put forth and Senate put forth some really strong election security bills, get those signed before the next election. I hope there's people working on this right now, because an executive order is great, right? But you can have that overturned pretty quick. So, no, here we go. We got people calling me, and I don't know how to mute this when people call, because it goes over my computer. It's like, okay. Anyways, the biggest thing that happened this week, and I guess I had a huge controversial take on this. I had people saying, I'm now unfollowing you. You're not loyal. You're a horrible human. because I thought the Signal app whole situation shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. Like, you can't have errors like that take place. It's incompetent. I get it. It might have been an accident, but so anyways, if you're catching up just like I am with this week, what happened was the United States ran an attack on the Houthi rebels in Yemen. And I was like, we need to kind of like dive into like why are we doing this? So I thought, let's just do a little recap on who these guys are and why we are intervening at all here. So the Houthi rebels, also known as Ansar Allah, are a Shia Islamist political and military group in Yemen that emerged in the 1990s. It's rooted in Zaydi sect of Shia Islam, which makes up about 35% of Yemen's population. They began as a religious revival movement, but grew into a significant force opposing Yemen's Sunni majority government, backed by Saudi Arabia. By 2014, they had seized control of the capital, Sana'a, and much of northwestern Yemen. So these guys are growing and growing, getting more powerful, overthrowing the internationally recognized government and triggering a civil war that has devastated the country. The Houthis are a strong anti-Israel and anti-American, aligning ideology with Iran-backed groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. Iran provides them with funding, weapons, and training, though they maintain a degree of autonomy rather than acting solely as an Iranian proxy. Okay, so the U.S. launched an attack against the Houthis on March 15th under President Trump, primarily to counter their attacks on shipping in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. These attacks, which began in November of 2023, after the Israel-Hamas war erupted, targeted 100 merchant vessels, sinking 2 and killing 4 sailors, along with U.S. warships and Israeli targets, using missiles, drones, and small boats. The Houthis claimed this was in solidarity with the Palestinians in Gaza, aiming to pressure Israel by disrupting a vital trade route that handles 12% of global commerce. So this is basically a battle for trade, and these guys are obstructing trade, and they are radicals that support radical Islamic terror. So the U.S. strikes them, right? Well, they decide to have a conversation on Signal. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have Signal, and I have a lot of little group chats on Signal. And it's kind of a process to add someone. You don't just boom, add them. There's a couple steps to it. And it's not a secure site, right? And I said this to my supporters. I did a little video for them earlier in the week. And I said, if I'm going to have a conversation, right? If I'm going to have a private conversation with people, and I don't want anyone to know about it, like at all, I'm not even going to bring my phone. Like, I'm not going to bring my phone, because I'm sketchy with these phones. I don't know, they could tap in, someone could listen in. I don't know. They're always watching, right? They're always listening. Sometimes Siri will come on and be like, what? Like, when I'm like, I'm not talking to you right now. Like, what is this? So I was surprised that they're like, hey, let's have a convo on Signal about attacking the Houthis. And I was like, why are we doing this? I don't think so. That was my take. I was like, this is dumb, because in this Signal chat, inadvertently, they add some far leftist reporter for the Atlantic. Like, this guy hates Trump, right? Okay, so it's one thing to be like, oh, we accidentally added the press secretary, like to the chat, or we accidentally added a member of the cabinet that is not necessarily involved in this stuff to the chat. The Department of Labor is suddenly in the chat. Okay. But they added a far leftist reporter. Like, how did that happen? And I was telling my supporters, it'd be like, okay, because I was like, oh my gosh, if this was the left, I would have totally parodied this, because it's like, all these people are meeting. They're all having this little conversation. They're all chatting. And they're like, okay, now it's time to get serious. We're going to do this attack. We're going to attack our enemies. This is a big deal. I need everyone to focus. This is how it's going to go down. I'm going to name specific times. I'm going to name where this is going to happen. We're going to talk about sites being hit. Okay. and they're all talking. And then I would hope at some point before you start to go into detail, you look around and you see that you've got some rando guy over here just hanging. He's just chilling, just kicking it, just looking around. I would hope that somebody in the chat would be like, hey, who's that guy? Does anybody know who that guy is? And I get people are like, well, it's just initials. Well, if you don't recognize an initial, when you say, well, just cool, like just time out. I don't know who this guy is. Can anybody verify who this guy? No. Anybody know? No. Before my husband and I have like an important conversation, we make sure the kids are out of the room. Like, hey guys, go outside, go play, go do. Like being aware of who you're talking in front of is like step 101 in security. So the fact that this happened, it's incompetent, shouldn't have happened, and needs to be dealt with. Okay, that was my take. And people are like, Rachel, I don't care. It shouldn't have happened. It was embarrassing that it did happen. Don't let it happen again. And find out how it happened. Because there's this whole side of me that's like, I don't think this happened by accident. Like, I don't think that with the steps you have to take to get into Signal that they just, like I said, it would be different with somebody in the cabinet, right? But the fact that they have some reporter, like somebody had to get that reporter in the room. Somebody had to do that. Okay. So that's what I said also. And people are like, no, it was just an accident. I'm like, I don't believe in like just accidents with these kind of situations. So it was fascinating that and let's just say some of the things that were said. Godspeed Warriors, Pete Hegseth wrote at 12:15 Eastern Time, F-18's launch. So it's like this is happening now at 13:45, triggered base, F-18, first strike, window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch, MQ-9s. Like, decide what kind of weapons are being used here. 14:10, more F-18s launch. Second strike package. 4:15, strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier triggered base targets. So it goes on with like, and I'm like, okay. And people are like, well, no one died here. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, I get it. But I would like to think that we can be vigilant enough to make sure that we know who we're talking in front of. That's all. And it is very important to be aware of who you're talking in front of in any of these kind of situations. And so I think that this person was added. I don't think it was accident. Okay, that's my take. I feel like there needs to be, and I think there is, like they're going to launch an investigation on it, which is crazy to me because I said all this, and then shortly after, Laura Loomer on X, like broke a story because it was said that it was Mike Waltz, he was the national security advisor, his assistant, okay, Alex Wong, is the guy that like added him, supposedly, allegedly. All right. We're investigating all of this. Nothing is set in stone. It's all alleged. But then she does a deep dive on Alex Wong. Like, who are you? What's your story? And she says this: Alex Wong is a Chinese deputy national security advisor appointed by President Trump, who is at the center of the Signalgate scandal and is married to U.S. Attorney Candace Chu Wong, a Chinese woman who was one of the key attorneys involved in prosecuting January 6ers. Like, that's strange. What? Alex Wong was appointed by President Trump on 11/22/24 to serve as the assistant to the president and the principal deputy national security advisor under Mike Waltz. Mike Waltz, the newly appointed U.S. national security advisor, I have discovered that Alex's wife, Candace Chu Wong, worked under the Obama administration and Biden administration as an assistant United States attorney in the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, where she led the Violence Reduction and Trafficking Offenses section for more than 2 years. She was involved in prosecuting many of the January 6ers during the Biden regime, under which she was nominated to become a member of the United States Sentencing Commission. Additionally, Candace Chu Wong served as a law clerk to Obama-appointed U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor. Making matters worse, Alex Wong worked for Covington and Burling, which is one of the law firms that President Trump recently stripped of its security clearance and terminated all of their government contracts via executive order on February 25th, 2025. Covington, he accused them of being involved in the weaponization of government. Why do we have a Chinese deputy national security advisor who is married to a Chinese U.S. attorney who worked under Obama and Biden and who helped prosecute January 6ers after the stolen 2020 election? This is unacceptable. And given the Chinese connections, it really does make you wonder. Like, what is this? And this is the thing. This is the thing. I think, and I said this to my supporters, I said, I feel like I have PTSD, and not like, and I'm not trying to like demean people that seriously have PTSD, but I have like this, because I went through it. I mean, I've been with Trump supporting him for years, and under his first presidency, I knew that there were snakes around him. I knew that there were vipers there. I knew that there were people, and it was clearly obvious that there were people there with bad intentions. And it's always been a concern of mine that we're not thoroughly vetting. And when you thoroughly vet, you don't just vet the individual that wants to get into the club here. You got to vet their family. You got to vet their connections. You got to see if they're connected to any NGOs or any special lobbying firms. Like, you need to know everything about these individuals that you're accepting into your group, because I think that there are still bad actors. And I think that the fact that this happened, it shouldn't just be shooed away like, oh, it's no big deal. No, we need to find out how this happened, and we need to find out why this happened. We need to find out who let this in, and we need to really find out the intentions of every single person that was in that Signal chat, and make sure this never ever happens again. And I think that it's not being done. I don't think it's being done, and it could be very detrimental if we don't thoroughly vet every single person that's surrounding the president and making decisions for them. So I don't know much about this Alex Wong guy. I think that Laura, she probably has even more information on him today. If you were probably to go to her page, I'll have to do that later. But I would put Laura in charge of vetting like this. She's phenomenal at doing a deep dive on who these individuals are. And I don't think this is it's been done, and it's being done, and it needs to happen. So that's my take on the whole Signal scandal. And people are like, oh, don't make a big deal out of it. I'm like, I don't want this to happen again. And I don't trust everybody around him. So that's where I'm at. Love or hate me, I don't care. It's fine. I had a lot of people being like, I can't, they're so mad. They were so mad that I was like saying, hey, this shouldn't have happened. When things that happen that shouldn't happen, you should call them out. Okay. That doesn't make you disloyal. It makes you concerned, and actually it makes you someone that really wants the president to succeed, because this was bad acting here. This was bad. This wasn't good. It wasn't good for the president. It wasn't good for the administration. And when stuff like this happens, you have to figure out why it happened and make sure it doesn't happen again. So that's my take. I opened up my electric bill and my water bill at the same time. I was shocked. I don't know what this means, Matt. This is probably in something else. Sometimes you guys are chatting to each other and I miss the conversation. Was it accidental or intentional? Maybe he's a mole. Maybe, Sharon. Like, I think that we need to do a deep dive on every single person that was in that chat. Who let the guy in? Shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. And when things shouldn't happen and you say, hey, that shouldn't have happened, that's okay. It's good to do that. So, all right. Moving on. Okay. Also this week, NPR, National Public Radio, got grilled. We give these people so much money. Okay. National Public Radio. We give them so much money, right? We give all these guys, PBS, all this public, the public radios, public television. And most of these people are far left radicalists. I mean, they're activists, and we're giving them money to put out content, to put out propaganda, basically. Why are we doing this? It shouldn't be happening. So they call these people to Washington. They hold a committee hearing, and they're asking them these questions. We're $36 trillion in debt, and we are funding this many of these leftist organizations with our tax dollars. Doesn't make any sense. One of the women being grilled there was Kelly Marr. You guys might know that name. She is now in charge, the CEO, the top lady there over at NPR. And she's also, get this, the chair of the board at Signal. What? Yes. She also chairs the board. Now let's just do a quick recap on who this Catherine lady is and where she stands on things. Here she is. I've done stuff on her before, but let's just talk about her again.
Hard things, the places where we are prone to disagreement, say politics and religion. Well, as it turns out, not only does Wikipedia's model work there, it actually works really well. Because in our normal lives, these contentious conversations tend to erupt over disagreement about what the truth actually is. But the people who write these articles, they're not focused on the truth. They're focused on something else, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years of working with these brilliant folks, I've come to believe that they are onto something, that perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done.
So our reverence from the truth might be getting in the way, basically, from getting things done. So forget the truth. We don't want the truth. We want to carry a narrative. We want people to buy and consume that narrative so that we can have a bunch of zombies out there, because we don't care about the truth. We want everyone to think the same way, act the same way, and do what we want them to do. It's a form of control. It's manipulation. And this is what this lady's all about. She's like, yes, let's do it. So she's also in charge of NPR. So great. So now you know that the lady that's at NPR doesn't care about the truth. She doesn't want you to know the truth. She wants you to buy a narrative and think the way she thinks. Here she is getting grilled. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful moment. Here we go.
Kerger, in 2023, when PBS had a program, Washington Week with the Atlantic, and when President Biden's mental acuity was questioned, one of the reporters claimed the GOP was lying. Another reporter, Jeffrey Goldberg, who's been in the news of late, described Biden as, quote, mentally acute. Were you aware if there were any dissenting opinions on that program that day?
I don't know from that day. No,
there were not. But fortunately, there was a debate in, I believe, June of 2024, where the American people and the world found out just who was lying: the Democrats, Jeffrey Goldberg, and PBS. Ms. Marr, I'm sure you're aware that Hunter Biden had a laptop.
I am, sir, yes.
Okay. And there were many stories written about said laptop.
Yes, sir.
And in 2020, unfortunately, NPR's managing editor for news refused to cover the story, and he branded it a, quote, waste of time, not a real story, and a distraction. And instead, unfortunately, of NPR investigating, they ran a puff piece that led with, experts say attack on Hunter Biden addiction deepens stigma for millions. It's unfortunate that NPR ignored the Hunter Biden laptop story, but y'all did talk quite a bit about the debunked Russia collusion. Do you know how many times NPR interviewed Adam Schiff about
Congressman, I would love to say that we actually believe we made a mistake on the Hunter Biden laptop story.
And I appreciate that. Thank you. How many times did y'all interview?
See, isn't it convenient that now they can say, oh, we should have talked about Hunter Biden. Sorry, we should have said something. We didn't. But the whole reason they didn't is because they didn't want anyone to know anything until after the election was over. So.
You, Adam Schiff, about the Russia collusion?
I'm sorry, I don't have that number.
It was 25 times. You know how many times NPR interviewed Chairman of this committee, oversight committee, Jamie Comer, about the Biden impeachment inquiry or the Hunter Biden tax evasion and illicit business dealings of the Biden family?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know.
I believe that's 0, so it's 25-0. Ms. Kerger, you're aware there's a political spectrum. It goes all the way from the far right to the far left and everywhere in between. Would it trouble you to hear that for 6 months, there was an analysis done on PBS's NewsHour from June to November of 2023, where they found that far right that term was used 162 times and far left was only used 6 times. Do you find that troubling?
I don't know the study that you're referring to, and I'd be very interested in seeing it and understanding how they came up with those numbers.
Media Research Center did a 6-month analysis, and it's not how do you find it. You either say far right or it's terms. Yeah. They use the term far right 162 times, far left 6 times. That's a 96 to 4% skew. You're also aware that you covered the GOP and Democratic National Conventions in 2024?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Interestingly, 72% of the coverage of the GOP convention was negative. 88% of the Democratic convention was positive. Shouldn't be surprising when you have anchors like Amna Noat, who described the Republican rhetoric as, quote, outright racism and, quote, echoing white supremacy. Ms. Mayor, NPR, you believe your reporters are fair? You said you're fair and they're working at it.
I believe that they work to be every day, sir.
They're non-biased. And yet, you have the voter registration issue. I mean, we're all human beings. We're all going to see through the world through a certain lens. And are you aware of any Republicans, any registered Republicans in your newsroom?
I couldn't say registered, but I know we have conservatives in our newsroom, yes.
Okay, so the recent registration, when it was looked at, 87 Democrats and 0 Republicans registered.
I found
87 Democrats and no Republicans. No Republicans.
that very concerning,
Yeah,
sir.
I would. Not even 40 to 30 or 50 to 20, 87 to 0. But it shouldn't be surprising when their own CEO says things like, I'm so done with late-stage capitalism, or calls the President of the United States a deranged racist sociopath, or that America's addicted to white supremacy. So billions have gone into both of your coffers over the last several decades. And I understand why Democrats on this committee are going to viciously and vehemently defend you all, because you become a propaganda wing of the Democratic Party. 67% of your viewers and listeners identify as Democrat, with only 12% conservative, and you become a sandbox for leftist propagandists to frolic on taxpayer dime and no more. And when you said in the beginning you're going to promote a symphony of ideological viewpoints, yeah, you do. If you're left-leaning, far left, or remarkably Marxist, I yield back.
But that's why they want it, right? Like, that is why they want it. They don't want to give it up because if they give it up, if we stop funding these leftist organizations, who are they going to talk through? Who's going to be controlling these people's minds? They might actually venture into organizations that want to speak the truth, and they can't have you hear the truth, because then once you start to really hunger and thirst after the truth, then you start to see it all, right? And we start to see that happen with this last election. And now we're coming after these leftist organizations that are receiving taxpayer money, that have been using it to push propaganda on the American people. It needs to stop. And it's fantastic to see these people get grilled. Here's another one really quick.
A rabid progressive. And do you not think it's a problem that your political leanings make it seem to the American people that you're not biased and that you're not doing your job? Because you agree that your job is to have journalistic integrity, right?
Absolutely, but there is a strong firewall between the newsroom and anything that I
Let's
do.
talk about the newsroom. You have 87 registered Democrats, not a single Republican in your editor board. So, I mean, how does that work to give us the perception that you're doing your job of actually delivering unbiased information?
Well, I would agree with you that that number is a concern if it is accurate. I do believe that we need to have journalists who represent the full breadth of the American society so that we can report well for all Americans.
Well, I think that you are failing. I realize you've only been there for a year, but I just really think that while it is a small portion of your budget, you very much should expect to restructure your revenue streams, because I don't think that NPR is necessarily worth saving.
Yeah, NPR is not worth saving. I'm fine with the whole thing going altogether. That's totally fine with me. So that happened this week, and it's good to see. Also this week, Jasmine Crockett. I guess this woman has become like the new, she's now speaking for the Democrat Party. And I don't know who is like, yeah, who do we want? Who needs to speak for us? Let's go with Jasmine. Jasmine is the one that we want talking and taking up headlines. She's fantastic. I don't know, but she's become the new spokesperson for the Democrat Party. And to be honest, I'm like, let this woman talk. Let's get her on every news outlet. Let's get her all across radio, TV, media. Let's have her write a book, Jasmine. Get out there, just blanket her all over social media. Let's do it, because this is what happens when this woman talks.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Yeah. So that's Jasmine. She's now the lady in charge, telling everybody the view that the Democrat Party has. She says Governor Hot Wheels here. Now listen, I get it. She's trying to be funny, and now she's trying to walk it back because she's like, I didn't say Hot Wheels because Governor Abbott was in a wheelchair. I said Hot Wheels because he's getting cars and buses and things, and he's loading illegal migrants on them and getting people deported. So that's why he's Hot Wheels. When she said Hot Wheels way before any of this immigration stuff started happening. So this is Governor Abbott right here. And he is in a wheelchair. And now imagine this. Imagine if Trump had said Governor Hot Wheels to a leftist Democrat governor. Can you imagine if he had said, oh, we got Governor Hot Wheels? It would be nonstop news for the next, I don't know, month and a half. And then they'd be like, he's making fun of people with disabilities. He's a horrible human. Oh, he's just heartless. I can't believe him. That's what they would do with it. That's what they would do. But the left does it, and it's just kind of quiet, no big deal. It's fine. Governor Abbott, actually, I was like, how did this happen? So he was in a freak accident and on July 14th, 1984, at the age of 26, while jogging in a Houston neighborhood after a storm, a large oak tree cracked and fell on his back. The impact crushed several vertebrae, splintering them into his spinal cord and causing additional injuries, including broken ribs and damage to his vital organs. Doctors inserted 2 steel rods near his spine to stabilize it, but the damage left him paralyzed from the waist down. He underwent extensive rehabilitation and has used a wheelchair ever since. And this is Jasmine. This is Jasmine talking about Governor Hot Wheels.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Like if a Republican said that, you guys, they would be like canceled forever. Canceled. It's like, you're done. Just pack your bags and sayonara. See you later. Goodbye. You can't say that. You can't say it. But the left says it's totally fine. Like that's just and it just exposes. It really does expose their heart, right? Like this exposes Jasmine's heart, right? She doesn't care. She doesn't care about people with disabilities. She doesn't care that this guy had a freak accident and is literally not able to walk at all. She doesn't care. She's making fun of him. She's mocking him. So let this woman talk. Let her talk. I think she should run. Have this woman run for president 2028. Do it, Jasmine. So that happened. That was also a big thing of the news. I'm going to start wrapping it up here, getting closer here. And then I kind of was, while I was on spring break with the kids, I missed a lot of this Tesla violence. These people losing their minds, going crazy over Elon Musk. And I just want to, first of all, we got to just highlight Elon Musk, because he went on, his team, the DOGE team, went on with Brett Baer. I think it was last night it aired, and they just kind of addressed a lot of what they found. And the left, they're losing their minds because an organization formed to identify waste and abuse in our government and get rid of it. Like, that's what these guys are doing. And the fact that this outrages anybody blows my mind. It really does. Because if you don't want to identify waste, if you don't want to identify abuse and scandal and fraud, if you want to keep that thing going, then you don't care at all about the future of our children or our grandchildren. Like, you don't care. Like, you can't care. So I don't want you to talk about climate change. I don't want to hear you talk about saving the planet if you don't care at the same time, simultaneously, about waste, fraud, and abuse happening in our government. Like, you just don't. So here's Elon Musk just talking with his team about a lot of the stuff that they found. Here we go.
What's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey, do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It was like insane.
You technically are a special government employee, and you're supposed to be 130 days. Are you going to continue past that, or do you think that's what you're going to do? Or?
Well, I think we will have accomplished most of the work required to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion within that time frame.
So in that time frame, 130
yes.
days. And the process is a report at some point, at 100 days? Or?
Not really a report. We are cutting the waste and fraud in real time. So every day that passes, our goal is to reduce the waste and fraud by $4 billion a day, every day, 7 days a week. And so far, we are succeeding.
And I'm going to talk of the specifics, but there obviously are DOGE critics who are reading all kinds of stuff. Obviously, lawmakers on the other side of the aisle are attacking you. And they characterize the approach as this: fire, ready, and then aim. And how do you approach that? How do you respond to that?
Well, I do agree that we actually want to be careful in the cuts. So we want to measure twice, if not thrice, and cut once. Actually, that is our approach. They may characterize it as shooting from the hip, but it is anything but that. Which is not to say that we don't make mistakes. If we were to approach this with the standard of making no mistakes at all, that would be like saying someone in baseball's got to bat 1,000. That's impossible. So when we do make mistakes, we correct them quickly, and we move on.
When we make mistakes, we correct them quickly and we move on. Yes, that's fantastic. Yes. I thought it was crazy when he said that our government spent your tax dollars for a survey that would have costed $10,000, okay, on whether you like national parks or not, or something like that. And our government spent $1 billion on that. Like, that should enrage you. That's your kids' money. That's your future grandchildren's money, right? Like, that is insane to me. And it's going on, and they're blowing billions like it's no big deal. It's just such utter disrespect for you. Regardless if you're Republican or Democrat or somewhere in the middle, if someone doesn't respect the way your money is spent, if they don't respect that, they shouldn't get your vote. You shouldn't back these people. Why would you give somebody money and they basically light it on fire? Do you think that they respect you? Like, honestly, if you hand somebody $100, hey, go get yourself something nice with this. Get yourself some groceries. And they look at you and they just tear that money up. Would that not bother you? It should bother you. It should be like, what? No, I didn't want you to do that with the money. I wanted you to put it to good use. The fact that you lit it on fire says so much about you. And the Democrats have no problem at all lighting your money on fire. Like none. And then what's wild to me is you've got leftists that are crazy in the head, causing all sorts of vandalism and stuff with Teslas and all this, because you don't like it that they're identifying waste, that you don't like it that they're saying, hey, they're not respecting us with our money. We need to get a grip on this. They're mad about that. They're mad about it. I want to talk about that in a second. I've got a couple of these vandals on clip. Here's another one.
Surprised at some of the legal efforts and some of the judges that have weighed in. There's about 8 or 10 now of these cases that are at least temporary holds. They're being challenged by the DOJ.
Right.
Are you surprised by that pushback?
Well, it's the D.C. Circuit is notorious for having a very far-left bias. And when you look at the people close to some of these judges, where are they working? Oh, they're working at these NGOs. Oh, they're the ones getting this money. Does that seem like a system that lacks corruption? It sounds like corruption to me.
Okay, listen closely to this. Let's listen closely.
Are you surprised at some of the legal efforts and some of the judges that have weighed in? There's about 8 or 10 now of these cases that are at least temporary holds. They're being challenged by the DOJ.
Right.
Are you surprised by that pushback?
Well, it's the D.C. Circuit is notorious for having a very far-left bias. And when you look at the people close to some of these judges, where are they working? Oh, they're working at these NGOs. Oh, they're.
So a lot of these leftist activist judges that are making these rulings are often married to or related to or very closely linked to a lot of these people at these NGOs, these nonprofit organizations that are funneling and wasting this money that we are giving them as taxpayers. And so you've got these judges getting a call from their wife or their husband or their spouse or their brother-in-law saying, hey, stop this now. We have to keep this funding because we're getting money from it. It's a huge laundering scheme is what it is. It's a giant laundering scheme. And that's why you're seeing these judges, these activists trying to stop Elon from identifying this stuff and identifying the fraud involved. So I do a deep dive. The next time one of these leftist judges tries to stop Trump with something or stop Elon with something, do a deep dive on their family. Do a deep dive on who they're married to, who their daughter is, who their son is. And there's generally, most of the time, 90% of the time, a connection to an NGO that's getting funding from our taxpayer money. So, what else? Oh, somebody says your internet is going out on Facebook. No, that's not good. I'm sorry, Facebook. Can you guys see me if you're on Facebook? So that's happening. Here's some lefties here, just to give you an idea. These people can't stand it. They're so mad. So what are they going to do? They're going to react with vandalism and violence. Here we got a guy getting out of his car next to a Tesla. And he decides, I'm going to key this car. I can't stand Elon. Oh, there you go. You got him good, buddy. Way to go. Way to go. Your kids would be proud. Here's another lady here.
Of property is a perfectly viable source of protest. No harming humans, obviously. Yeah. Human life is sacred no matter whose it is. But property these are just things. These are just cars.
Destroying property. It's totally fine. You can do it. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Here's another one.
Is over at the car, and moments later they return and quickly start keying the passenger door with a phone in the other hand.
You can tell in the video too, like they're actively starting to record, and they're recording the whole thing. You can easily tell this is a targeted, like there's intent there, and they, kind of a mockery of it, right, with all the recording.
Seconds later, the vandal runs off. The owners, who asked to remain anonymous, notice the damage about a half hour later and say since then they have felt unsettled and somewhat fearful.
Great. These people are unhinged. Okay. You're dealing with like psychopaths here. And this, and I don't know, like if you're part of leadership in the Democrat Party, this is not good for you. And I don't want to give you guys advice, but I don't know why or who's like, yes, we lost the last election because we lost the middle. So in order to get the middle back on our team, we're going to start vandalizing private property. And that's really going to make the middle be like, I want to be with these guys. You know, the people in the middle, they just want to live their lives, right? They don't want drama. They got it. They got bills to pay. They've got a job. They've got 1,000 things on their plate. They are running to baseball games, soccer games. They're just trying to keep it together, right? They're just, they get bits of the news here and there, here and there. And you know what they've been repeatedly told over the last week is that crazy leftists are losing their minds and destroying private property because they don't like Elon Musk. That's not a good look for the Democrat Party. That's like not a good look for you guys. And it's not going to win over the middle. It's not going to win them back. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, let's go to the team that's like lost their minds, that are destroying private property. Let's go to them. So it's crazy to me. Keep it up, actually. But you're not going to win. You're not going to win the middle back with that. You're just not. You're not. So I got to thinking, and I made this video a long time ago. I made it way back because I don't have a satiric piece made this week. But it's crazy to me how much has changed over the last 2 years, right? Because at one point in time, believe it or not, the left loved Elon Musk. The left adored Elon Musk. The left was like, this dude's saving the planet. And doesn't this say something? If you're destroying electric cars, do you really want to save the planet? Like, do you really care about the environment? Because if it's just imminent and the earth is about to explode and you've got to do whatever you got to do to save it, you're not going to care what kind of electric car someone's driving around in because the earth is going to explode. So you got to get, it doesn't matter. But no, you do care. You care so much that you're destroying electric cars now. So I don't buy your climate stuff now that you've been pushing on us for years. I don't buy that now at all. Like I haven't, but it's really now obvious at this point. But at one point, the left loved Elon. And then Elon Musk said, you know what? I think that free speech is so important. I want to preserve it. I'm going to buy Twitter. And at that point in time, the left lost their minds. And we're seeing it just crumble. They're just falling apart right in front of our faces. But let's just take a trip down memory lane to back how it once was.
Yeah, that's my new Tesla. She's a beauty, real beauty. Best looking electric car out there. I mean, honestly, that Elon Musk, he's remarkable. Really a remarkable guy. I mean, let's save the planet, right? Let's save the planet. Wow, are you guys seeing this? Did you guys see what just happened? Elon Musk just successfully relanded a rocket. This is historic. This is unbelievable. This is incredible. This guy's he's like a real life Iron Man. Yeah, Vladimir Putin is evil. He is an evil person. But did you see what Elon Musk did? He helped send Starlink satellites over Ukraine so that the people in Ukraine could get internet. He's just such a good guy. I don't think we need to talk about Elon Musk, really. I mean, there's other topics of conversation we can have. I mean, the guy is advocating for free speech. Free speech! That is going to ruin our democracy. Ruin it! I hate Elon Musk. I hate him. I mean, there's normal hate, and then there's Elon Musk hate. I just think that there's other topics of conversation we can have. Okay?
Gosh, you remember that though? They did love him. They loved him so much. And now they're burning Teslas down. They're keying Teslas. They're trying to do whatever they can to take him down. And just so you guys know, like the lefties out there, like you're not going to stop Elon Musk. Like it's just not going to happen. So you're just giving yourself, your party, everyone that's involved with you a really bad name, a bad look, and it's gonna make the right win again and again and again. Because you know what, you're just everyday human that's just out there living life. They don't want to have anything to do with vandalism. They're like, they don't have time for that. It's like they've got so much going on. They're not going to be like, let's insert vandalism into our lives as well. Let's just do that. There's too much. It's too much. They want to be able to pay their bills, live life in peace without the drama. And you guys are drama. Like, it's nonstop drama. Governor Hot Wheels destroying Teslas. You guys are crazy. And there's nothing about you that's inviting at this point. There's nothing about you that's appealing. So I don't know what you're going to do. I really don't know what you're going to do. You have to like get somebody in charge of messaging to help you guys out, because right now you are burning your party to the ground. And that's it. And that's it for today, you guys. It's been fun. I'm thankful for you all. It's good to be back. I hope to be doing some funny stuff next week. How's everybody doing? You guys good? Good? Ready for the weekend? Awesome. I do want to give a shout out to my supporters. I see some of them on here. I appreciate you all. Hey, Peggy, I see you on here. Thanks for being here. A shout out to you guys. In order for me to keep doing this, to keep the lights on, if you will, I need support. I do. I need supporters. I need people to become Patreons. You can become a Patreon. I can drop that in the link right now in the comments. You can also become a subscriber on X. You can support on Facebook, but it keeps the satire going. It keeps me being able to do this, and hopefully I can. But I am thankful for those of you that do. It really means a lot. I'm also thankful for all of you guys that share my videos, share my content, comment, like, repost, any of it. I'll take it. I will take it. But know that I'm thankful for you all. Go out there and have a good weekend. Pray over our country. Pray for this nation. Pray for protection over Trump, wisdom over him, knowledge over him. And that if there are any snakes, if there are any people there surrounding him with ill intent, that they'd be exposed and brought to light. And go love your family. Love the people right in front of you. And we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.